Before the race, I really just like to lap dance and train practice. When I see this race, and when I come in every day, so I start to sit there and
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Through the elite women. We'll start out with the top 8 elite women in these Superfinal time trials, and then we'll move over to the top 16 overall ranked men for the elite Superfinals. So Jason, you've got to sit back, watch the racing. What's your standout for the day so far?
Standout for the day is the track. This is a rowdy one. Not a rowdy one, but a special one. I was actually talking to a gentleman I used to race back in the day, Christian Besserini, and we were talking about how the experienced racer seems to do well on this track, even though it is technical, because there's a certain mindset, peace of mind that you want going through, where you're calm, collected, and you want to just be able to execute your lines and get through those jumps as clean as possible. And there's times where you could see some riders during the race when they were being rushed and they were forcing some things, trying to push through when their front wheel was up, and maybe they came up short, especially in the last straight. So it seemed like the experienced riders really showed their mettle on their way, trying to get the medal.
So now we got this little bit of break here. Riders get to take, the riders that race are done, and now the other ones that have kind of been sitting around for quite some time, they got about 10 or 15 minutes on the track. From your past experience, how will that, do you think, affect them?
Well, I think with this track, I think the vibe was pretty much, they were all the people in the time trial were kind of glad about it. Some of them chose actually not to even practice yesterday. Some of the people who are pre-qualified. So that leads me to believe that those who did that did have the track down. I think being warm, doing their warm up, watching the racing probably did a lot for them, because everybody has ridden the track at least through yesterday. So I think watching the racing and watching how it flows or doesn't flow probably gave them enough insight, at least for their warm up. And at the end of the day, this is a time trial. Everybody wants that TT gold and possibly that TT medal at the big show. But I think everyone wants to just get through the day and get that good lane choice for tomorrow.
All right, with that said, we are getting ready. We have the elite women making their way to the back of the ramp. We have the eight women ranked top 8 overall from round number 1. There is our start list: Elke Van Hoof, Elise Post, Brooke Crane, Axel Etene, Simone Christensen, Laura Smolders, Mariana Pahone, and Caroline Buchanan. Caroline Buchanan, for the last few years, has won the time trial here. Mariana Pahone won it in Argentina just a couple weeks ago, but we'll see how things pan out. Different, second stop of the race. I don't know how that's going to affect anybody, but we'll get ready for Elke Van Hoof. She's our first rider up. 24 years of age, and she's just been one of those riders that's been consistently in the top of the Supercross circuit for this last few seasons, Jason.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how these time trials play out. I mean, you have some of the ladies are really good at jumps. The others are specialized in the corners, and the other ones can really just get down that first straight fast. So it'll be interesting to see what plays out best in these runs.
So as she gets loaded into the gate, we'll see how she's going to go out and set that fastest time. As we said, there's just these 8 women, but these are the 8 best women in BMX. So let's get ready as Elke Van Hoof sits in the gate here for her time trial in Manchester at the second stop of the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Tour.
Yeah, Pete, looks like she got over the first jump pretty good, but that second jump seems to be hanging up. Great second straight, obviously. First one out, she's got the green flag, so she's setting the pace. Looks like she's had a clean run through that third straight. Nice line through that last turn. Let's see what she puts down in this last straightaway. Jumps onto the step, a little bit of a stumble on the way to the finish line, but makes it through with a 3.234 time.
So Elke Van Hoof gets the fastest time around the track here. First person around, so it's not that difficult. But she, as Jason said, she did have a smooth run around the track. So next up, from San Diego, California, the United States of America, number 11, Elise Post.
San Diego by way of Minnesota.
Well, she has a house in San Diego.
For the Minnesota.
That's not a Minnesota tan.
No, but the San Diego tan is real from Minnesota.
So as we get ready for Elise, she's had, she didn't have the performance she wanted. Obviously, she was 7th in the main event in Argentina. She got pushed outside on the first turn, but to make that main event in Argentina, that itself was an accomplishment. So she's getting ready tonight here for her Superfinal. We'll see how things pan out as she's loading into the gate. And Elise Post, the national champion, as you can see by the stars and bars on her left sleeve. Any of the riders that have their national flag on their left sleeve indicates they are the national champion of their country. So we'll go with Elise Post from the United States of America, looking to outseat Elke Van Hoof on her run.
Yeah, and Elise was one of the only American ladies to come home in between Argentina and this race. So let's see if that break and that sunshine did her some good. Whoa, a little bit of an over jump on that second jump in the second straightaway, but she's really got a good line in that second corner, maintaining that pole position, getting through that third straight very nicely, much better than that post she had on Instagram where she had to do a transfer into the men's section. But nice onto the step up, off the step up, down the last straight, and good time of 31.884.
So Elise looks to have been good around the track. But we'll see where her time stands up. She does have the fastest time, 31.88 versus a 33.23. So we'll get ready. Next up, it's going to be Brooke Crane, also from the United States of America, from Bakersfield or Visalia or one of those
Central
places.
California, Visalia, I believe. She does some time in San Diego, like most of the elite women in the U.S. And she's been battling a little bit of the flu. Lisa's been battling a little bit of the flu this week, and Brooke has been battling a little bit of the flu this week, and she's really been toughening it out through the week, being very diligent and intentional with her practice. As she gets in lane 3, seems she chooses lane 3 quite a bit for her time trial runs, and she's been known to have the fastest first straight on several of these time trials as of late. And so let's see how she goes around the rest of the track.
So we'll let Brooke get in the gate. She's in the gate. Get her power on as we get ready for the gate to drop. So we'll let Jason describe the track because he's better at it than me.
So she got over that first jump nice, getting that back wheel over. Again, that second jump in the first straight, you really want to get backside on that so you get that extra boost into the corner. Looks like she's gotten through the second straight kind of nice, staying nice and low and fast in that second corner. Getting through that third straight, no real hang-ups there, staying straight, a little bit of styly into the last corner. Does not have the green helmet coming out of the last corner, but looks like to be a clean lap. A little bit of a bobble at the end, but coming in with a 33.262. She's going to be sitting in third. I don't think that's her best, but she'll be in the show tomorrow either way.
So Brooke Crane definitely not excited about that run, but again, just making it around the track, riding safely, getting one last chance in, that's an accomplishment on itself. But these are the fastest riders, so Elise still sits in that hot seat as we get ready for one of the youngest riders on the World Cup circuit, a past junior world champion, Axel Ateni. She's been on fire. She's been in the main event, obviously, in Argentina, but she made some consecutive main events on the Supercross after last year's World Championships. As I said, she won as a junior woman. She's in here with the elite women. She's getting in the gate now. Interesting to see different gate selection. Jason, what's the difference between 3 and 4 in this time trial?
Yeah, I think it's the difference between 3 and 4 is their comfort level, to be honest. I think Axel probably wants to maybe have a straighter line into that first corner, and let's see how fast she can take that pink bike down the hill. Axel Etienne, known to be one of the stronger ladies, more powerful ladies. Very nice first jump, getting backside. And again, she has a little lean and a little stretch, but it wasn't enough to get full backside into the first corner. Going through the second straight, looking pretty good. Over jumping a couple of them. She looks like she might be a little bit nervous, but as we see, with these time trials, it's one thing to race against 7 other people, but sometimes when you're by yourself on that track, you feel more exposed and more out there than you would normally. Little bobble, big bobble actually down the last straight. She's going to be sitting for 33.57. I don't think she's happy about that, but I'm sure she's happy the lap is over.
Yeah, so that young rider definitely gaining experience. Yes, she didn't have the fastest time there, but she's up against Elise Post, one of the fastest riders out there. As you said, national champion of the United States of America. 31.8, the next fastest time, and all the other 3 women that have gone are in the 33-second range. So it was a good lap for Elise, but we'll see how things. We've got 4 more women to go here. Next up will be Simone Christensen. She's ultra consistent, that one, as you're 3rd at the World Championships, currently ranked 4th overall. So she's right there on that bubble of breaking through. That we have some real heavy hitters with Mariana Pajon, Elise Post, Caroline Buchanan, Laura Smulders, but Simone's putting the bid in there to be right up there as well. So she loads up into the gate, and as Jason said, let's see if she can get over that second jump. It's definitely the furthest jump on this track for the elite women, but it's at one of the fastest points of the track. Mind over matter, Jason, that's one of those things that some people need to unlock. How can they make that difference?
Well, I think a lot of it is actually more technical than mindset. However, if you're not getting the technique right, it does play tricks on your mind. What I'm impressed with Simone is she's actually pretty sneaky in those corners, and when I watch her race against the other women, she always has good lines in those corners and is very smart around the track. So what she may not get in those jumps, she does tend to make up for on the rest of the track and in those corners. So she's going to be pushing pretty hard all the way to the end. So yes, Simone gets around the track right now. She's sitting in that 4th place overall ranking. She's
She's going to have a good, strong. She's been a strong finisher on most of these races, and she looked to get through that third straightaway very decently. She's still 4th overall, but coming down that last straightaway is a decisive move. Looked pretty smooth, pretty fast. She's going to get 4th overall. But let's get a word. Elise Post has been in the hot seat all this time. Let's get a word from Elise Post and see how her run went for her.
So we are back with Elise Post. Elise Post is still in the hot seat, second out, still quickest by some distance as well. Are you happy with your lap?
Yeah, every lap you can kind of pick bits apart and perfect and imperfect parts of it, but overall really happy with it, and yeah, excited to sit here.
Mostly smooth. Where were the particularly challenging bits on the course for you?
It's just a bit hard, that first lap, get the jitters out, and just, I guess hitting everything at, full speed, you kind of got to get used to not over jumping a few things, so I went a little far on that second straight, but recovered okay, I think, and yeah, finished out strong.
So far, so good. You're looking comfortable in the hot seat. Enjoy it. The current fastest rider, the USA's Elise Post.
So Elise Post definitely excited to be in that hot seat, Jason. With 3 more riders to go. These are the 3 fastest women from our first stop of the World Cup Tour. Laura Smulders, definitely been on a tear as of late. It's continual. She's been great, and here she is up against 2 of the best women in the world, Mariana Pajon, Caroline Buchanan, and Elise Post. It's going to be tough for her, but if anyone can do it, I think Laura could.
Yeah, I think she can sneak in there for definitely for a top 3, if not a win. She's definitely keeping good company with the likes of Mariana and Caroline. So let's see how she chooses to go down this hill and around the track.
So what a gate start. She's got the whole shot. Getting over this second jump is going to be key, and right there you could have saw it. That was pretty much the end of it. You can see by her body language just hopping over that second jump. Not where she wants to go, but she's going to collect herself and try to get a good lap back in for the rest of the track. But at this point, Jason, it's pretty much just want to go through this lap to get, now you're just going to practice for tomorrow.
Yeah, her casing that first jump and not jumping the second jump definitely nixed her chances of getting a TT win here. So at this point, she's just going to want to finish that lap, and it's sad because with that time she's still in second. So had she jumped that first jump the way she wanted in second jump, she might have been in a fight for the win. But in sports, woulda, coulda, shoulda does not get it.
Yeah, and as I said, she definitely wanted to have a fast lap there. But with that bobble, she came back. She had that never give up attitude, and she got second overall. But it's all about the win. And right now, this woman right here, Mariana Pajon, she's wearing that World Championship jersey for the time trial, so she knows all about winning. She won the opening round time trial event, so we'll see how things go as this young woman from Colombia with a lot of accolades gets on the gate and sees if she can take the time trial championship tonight. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, and as you all know, the fans know, Mariana's all about having fun on her bike and having a smile. And I don't know about you, Mr. Pete Deluski, but it seems like Pajon, Buchanan, and Post have a quiet rivalry going on. So whether they're racing each other head to head or whether it's in these time trials, they always seem to be, the 3 ladies that are hovering around that podium. I mean, she's the fastest down the hill. Pajon got that front wheel over that second jump, has the red helmet now, but she's known for finishing strong like most Colombians, training in that high altitude with German Medina. I know he has his riders put in a lot of work, and Pajon is no stranger to hard work. So let's see how she comes through this last corner and down this last straight, Pete.
Yeah, so as of right now, she's still in that second place spot, but as Jason said, she could make it up. It looks like she's got a good line going all the way to the finish, just off Elise Post time ever so slightly. So Mariana Pajon won't take the victory this time here for the Superfinal time trial. So it's going to come down to Elise Post and Caroline Buchanan for that victory. So we'll see how things go. And a good camaraderie there between the 2 riders. So Mariana Pajon, she's on her way out. She's not happy with second, but as you said, that's what champions want. So with just 1 woman left to go, it's going to be Caroline Buchanan. Caroline's won the time trial here the past 2 years, so it would be fitting. She's got her dad, her grandma, baby cousin, somebody else in the audience. So Caroline, always has a great smile on her face, and she will definitely will have a huge smile on her face if she's able to unseat Elise Post from that hot seat.
Yeah, and Caroline, you know, she has that mountain bike experience, so she knows how to hunt down those lines, definitely knows how to carve those corners. You know, we've seen her play tricks on the field before where it doesn't look like she's having the best of days, and she comes back and wins the whole thing. Pretty dominant last trip to Argentina, so let's see how she does on this time trial.
So here it is, a head-to-head battle at this point between Elise Post and Caroline Buchanan. Caroline has the fastest time at the bottom of the ramp. Going into turn 1, she's off Elise's time just slightly, but we'll see. A little bit of a bobble, and right there, over jumping. She might be trying a little bit hard, a bonk there. She's going to be stuck in second, but the time is so close, 3/100ths of a second of time difference. If anyone can make it up, it is her. But right now, this run looks a little rough for Caroline. She's moved back to third overall. I don't think she's going to be able to make it up. That's definitely not going to help, and Caroline will not win. It'll be Elise Post, the champion tonight of the overall time trial.
Yeah, very surprising run by Caroline, actually, with a couple of mistakes. Looked like she might have been trying too hard, but congrats to Elise Post.
So it'll be Elise Post who takes the win. There'll be Elise Post that takes the win here in the Superfinal time trial.
Fantastic, Elise, you're on the rollers. It never stops for you guys, does it? Congratulations, you must be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, this is amazing. This is my first time trial win in my whole career, so that's obviously very exciting. And like I said, there's perfect bits and imperfect bits on the track, but it was good enough, so I'm very happy.
Well, a great reception from the crowd for you there. How does it feel to be here in Manchester at the World Cup?
It's always good to be here in Manchester. You know, they're always very welcoming. The vibe's always great on this indoor facility. Tight racing, close racing, and they seem to get pretty into it, so hopefully it's a good show all weekend long.
It certainly will be. You were sat there for a long time as well, second out of the gate. What kind of emotions were you going through?
Quite honestly, I don't get to sit in that seat very often, so I usually go towards the end, and I didn't have the best race in Argentina. I ended up going second out of the time trial start here, and I was kind of excited to have an opportunity to try to put out a good lap right from the start, and it worked out. And yeah, it's pretty cool to sit there and anticipate and wait to see if you get knocked out or not.
Well, you didn't. They all came, they all failed. You're going to be atop of that podium later. What's next for you? It must be a really exciting time.
Yeah, it's like I said, first time trial win, so I'm very, very happy about that. And I got to just try to take a little momentum in tomorrow and be happy with those laps and make little improvements and go on from there.
Great ride. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, Elise Post.
All right, so Elise Post takes tonight's win here in the Superfinal time trial. Great run for her.
Thank you for a lovely...
Now we move over to the men, Jason. 16 of the fastest racers in the world. It's going to be interesting to see. This is going to be a good competition between these riders.
Yeah, and it's nice to see we have some new players in this game. We have Rincarel, we have Upshaw. I think Ramirez has made a couple of appearances in some of these super finals. Amadou Mir is always exciting. Chirac coming off of his big win in Argentina. I think Van Gent might have went down in practice, so we don't think he'll make this time trial, but definitely, and of course can't count out the world champion Nick Kieman. It's really going to be good to watch these guys and see how they take the track, see if there's any differences, because I know there's a few line options in the last straight.
So, yeah, Tuan Van Gent and Romain Mathieu both crashed out in practice yesterday. Unfortunately, Romain Mathieu broke his collarbone, 3 spots. It's a lovely photo. And I believe Tuan Van Gent, I know he went down, I'm not sure what happened to him, but yeah, neither of those riders will be in the event tonight. So we'll get ready. You'll see our start list for these elite men. Jeremy Rencule, Kyle Evans, Yelavan Gorkum, Trent Jones, Nick Kidman, Molina, Daudet, and Upshaw will be our first 8 riders. Then we'll move over to Ramirez, Campo, Long, Van Gent, Nijhag, Torres, Mir, and Chirac. So consistency is the key to this overall series, Jason. How hard and how difficult is it to be consistent over a 5-race overall tour?
You know, it's it's definitely easier to be consistent once you have some momentum. These 16 guys have that, having made the semi and some of these guys making the final in Argentina. And I think once you have that momentum, it's just a matter of keeping the pencil sharp each weekend. In a 5-race series, it'd be great if they race twice on these weekends, because there's only one day of actual racing. But these guys and girls, they wait a long time between seasons for this 5 races. So I think the key is getting that momentum and then maintaining it through the year.
So, and then as Jason said, you're traveling around the world, you're doing these different competitions, and there's a lot of pressure put, I guess, on yourself, as well as if you're representing your country, if you're representing a company. How do you think these riders are able, or how is there a better way to deal with such pressure like that?
Well, and then there's not only is the pressure from themselves, or it's also, this is a different kind of year. It's an Olympic year, so what we may see is that some riders opt out of some races versus others. So we're seeing some strategizing going on, and so that also adds to the thing. I think again, a lot of these guys are working with sports psychologists. They're doing their training. They're up on all the latest in reading and sports science. So it's a matter of maintaining that emotional control when it's time to go. And here we have Jeremy Rencourel on the gate, chose lane 4. Let's see how he pushes that DK to the finish line.
Yeah, so Jeremy, this young rider, he's been pretty impressive so far. The last few races I've seen him, he's come to a couple of races in the U.S. as well, and he's really trying to make a name for himself. A lot of great riders have come from France. We'll see if he's able to keep up with that tradition, as he looks pretty stylish around the track here in Manchester. And as Jason alluded to, there's riders that have skipped races. One of those most notable, as you won't see him on our start list tonight, was Sam Willoughby's not here, but also Connor Fields, he's injured. The guy from right here in Great Britain, Liam Phillips. Liam Phillips decided to sit out, even though he was in South America training for this event, and he said it was better for him to be ready, and we saw him race, and he was dominant in today's earlier qualifications. So Jeremy Rencourel goes out and sets that time of 29.6. Next up will be Kyle Evans, right here in Great Britain as well. He's going to try to break in to the top 2. I think he'll do that pretty well, but try to break into that hot seat. And Kyle Evans, what's it like, do you think, for him? He's kind of living in the shadow of Liam Phillips, but at the same point, he's done pretty well. He's made a name for himself on the tour.
Totally, he's made a name for himself, and by every account, he's put in a lot of work. I think this is a good opportunity for him to break out and really show what he can do. I know he has the crowd behind him, and let's see if he applies the pressure rather than feels the pressure.
So Kyle Evans, the only rider tonight from Great Britain here in the Superfinal time trials, and he's one that gets to ride this track every single day throughout the year. So let's see how things go for him as the start at the bottom of the ramp. That speed, second fastest to Jeremy Rencourel, but he comes out of turn number 1 with that green helmet. So there's these time sectors. This track actually has 18 different time stations on the track underneath the ground, but we just use these 4, and it's in each of those turns and at the bottom of the ramp. So as you'll see, Kyle getting a little sideways, doing it for the fans down there, has that green helmet. By right now, he's 3/100th of a second quicker, does that big quad jump all the way to the line. He's going to come by with 29.29. That's going to be the fastest run of the 2 so far tonight. A pretty impressive run for Kyle. So we will get a word with our fastest qualifier of the evening, Kyle Evans, as he makes his way over to the hot seat.
We're going to go down to Dave, who's in the hot seat.
Yes, I'm stood next to the hot seat. The man in the hot seat is Kyle Evans. Kyle, looked smooth, looked quick. How did it feel?
Yeah, not too bad. Put it together pretty well. Going into the first turn, something felt like it came off my bike, and then just managed to keep focus. Got the rest of the lap good. Came short on the step up into the at the last turn, but apart from that, it's pretty decent.
Even when you're that quick, you're still finding things to criticise yourself on. You burst over the finish line and nearly ended up going over the barrier too.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you have to when you're fighting for like the thousandths of a second. You don't get better if you're not being critical and picking out the little things.
Well, superb ride, congratulations, and you are currently the fastest rider in the competition, Great Britain's Kyle Evans.
So Kyle Evans takes over that hot seat. We'll see how long he can go because we have 14 fast riders still yet. Next up right here, Jelle van Gorkum. He's been a rider to have a great time trial here in the past. We'll see if he's able to do it. I think we'll have a new time trial champion tonight because I believe the time trial Superfinals have only been won in the elite men's class by Liam Phillips or Connor Fields. So neither of those riders participating in tonight. So we'll definitely have a new victor here tonight. Could it be Jelle van Gorkum? We will see. Number 2 in the world from the Netherlands. Let's go with Jelle van Gorkum.
Yeah, I know it's good. Is it Netherlands? Is it Dutch? Is it Holland? I don't know. But either way, coming from the orange, doing it for the orange, doing it in the orange, Bas de Bever and crew. Jelle had a nice, pretty big overjump and then somewhat of a kick out going into that second corner. It is easy to overjump those jumps, and then you get hung up, and then you want to get more speed. But coming out of this last corner, I don't know if he's going to be able to pull off the win here. Does a big triple, slight case, gets to the line, 30.372. He'll be racing tomorrow, but no time trial win for the Dutchman.
So Jelle van Gorkum not going to be in the hot seat, but definitely looked like he had a little bit of fun on that second half of that lap. So we'll get ready. Up next, Trent Jones. Trent Jones, the national champion from New Zealand, definitely another one of those fast riders out on track, spending some time in the United States preparing for this World Cup season. Right now he's just thinking about getting that fast lap here in Manchester.
Yeah, and I remember watching him at the Worlds last year. He had a really nice line in that rhythm section. I think he was one of the first few guys to triple manual some of those and link up an extra roller in that rhythm section. So maybe he'll pull out some of that skill during this time trial. Looks like a clean start, like most of these guys get over that jump. Really low, gets good backside into the first corner. Have a red helmet, but there's still a whole lot of track left. Let's see what he's got. Again, that step up, it's really hard to get that back wheel over and nose in because it's so steep on the landing. Again, tricky rhythm section, big leap in the middle, into the last corner, cuts it pretty nice. Let's see what line he's going to take. He's going to triple over that step and then pedal all the way to the line while wheeling, no less. Second place, 29.382. That's a good time for Trent Jones, and I think he'll be happy with his lane choices tomorrow.
So Trent Jones moves into that second place spot. It's only about the first place spot tonight. There's only one winner here, Jason. Not everyone's a winner, and only one person gets a trophy. So next up, our current world champion, Nick Kidman. And here's a super secret insider tip. He's doing the GoPro course preview hot lap for us in tonight's Superfinal time trial. So what you'll see tomorrow during the live television broadcast is his lap right now, unless he forgot to turn his camera on. So we'll see as Nick Kimmen's loaded in the gate, one of the rare times you'll see him with his Dutch national team jersey on. But Nick, a youngster, he's done everything. He won that world championship, and then he came back, won Papendal in their Supercross track. Just been really ultra consistent out there on the track. So we'll see things go for him now in the time trial here.
Fastest down the hill to the first jump. Let's see how, and fastest out of that first turn. And notice he came out of lane 6, not 3 or 4, but 6. So maybe that was a better line, a faster line into the first corner. Or maybe he's just hyped on his GoPro being on and getting this lap filmed for the fans to see tomorrow on that GoPro lap. Who knows? Either way, he's maintaining that green helmet, getting through this last straight very clean and confident with some pedals to the finish. Yeah, 28.904. Nick Kimmen takes over the hot seat.
So what a great run, and he's the first rider of the evening to go in the 28-second mark. So definitely a good run there for Nick Kimmen. He will now take over the hot seat and we'll see if anybody else can outs him. We do have some fast riders here, so let's get ready.
Dave's going to talk to Mr. Nick Kidman.
Thank you very much. Yes, I am. He's not even got his helmet off yet. He was that quick to get over the line and into the seat. Nick, I'll give you a second, but great ride. How did it feel for you?
Was alright. Was a little sketchy on the second straight, but I got some backside and the rest of the lap was alright. Not great, but it was a decent lap.
So you say sketchy on the second straight. Is that a particularly challenging area of the course?
Yeah, it's a long jump, but the landing is pretty steep, so it's hard to land exactly where you want to land, but it was alright for me.
Well played. Number 1 on the jersey and currently number 1 on the leaderboard. It's Nick Kimman.
So great run there for Nick Kimman. As we said, you'll get to see that before Gonzalo Molina's run. So we'll see how interesting that's going to be. But yeah, Nick Kimman, definitely a hot run in the hot seat. We'll see how things turn out for him. Bunch of riders left. Gonzalo definitely wants to get out there. Jason, again, another guy. He had a great run going on in Argentina, as you can tell. Now what's it like? He really wants to make a thing happen, something happen here. Sometimes the inexperience could pay off as well as just not knowing that you shouldn't do well, shouldn't it?
Well, sometimes when a rookie pro's running scared, that's more dangerous than the seasoned vet who knows exactly what to do. And this Argentinian contingent, they finish strong. They work hard. I've seen them in Chula Vista, running lap after lap, sprint after sprint. Great showing, obviously, at the first Supercross this year, and they have a pretty strong team. So I think Molina's definitely known for that power down the first straight. He might be pushing a little bit too hard down this track to get the smooth lap he really wants, but either way, the effort, as you can see in his riding style, is there, and it won't be enough for a TT win, but definitely I know his countrymen are proud.
So good run there for Molina. He only goes up into 5th, but still definitely something to build on, and as you said, this guy's one of those guys to keep an eye on in the future. So next up, you'll see a rider. Good guys wear black, bad guys wear white. I forget how it goes, but this is a pretty good guy when he gets on the track. Joris Dode, our current time trial world champion, and just when you thought he was into the black clothing thing, goth, he comes out on track all white, looking clean as a whistle. It's got that rainbow stripe, telling the world he's the world champion, and he's pretty good. So we will let Jason, past world champion himself, give a play-by-play of this lap.
Well, Joris has definitely turned it on these last couple years. Not that he was off any year before, but he's got a nice touch on that bike. Very French of him, riding for the French owner, Mr. Christophe Lévesque. But he's got a good program going. But right now, I don't know. I'm seeing a couple of bobbles, a couple of small little safety cases. It'll be a strong lap, but I don't think it's enough for a first place.
Joris just off the mark ever so slightly in second. He's definitely not going to be happy. He's trying to shake that lap off in his head already. Rode strong on the second part because he actually went back in the times, but consistency came back into second overall. Our current world champion is going to go in the stands and watch the fans. And a fan favorite, one of my favorites, Jeffrey Upshaw from the United States of America, a guy that rode strong his all amateur career, smooth rider out there, took some time off, and now he's back. And again, he impressed a lot of people the last few races, and definitely obviously in Argentina, where he's up here in that top 16 overall.
Yeah, Jeff Upshaw, he's actually kind of an undercover rider here. I mean, he's got the age of a seasoned veteran, but he's actually kind of young in years when it comes to his experience on the Supercross, and he's managed to be relatively healthy his whole career. His mind's right, his bike's fitting him well. I know oh my goodness! I think he almost pedaled up the lip. That was crazy ejection. I mean, you want to talk Kuwahara and ET, that was a recreation of that. Looks like he got up okay. I think he's just counting his blessings that he's alive. I know Big Jeff upstairs is grateful that his boy's going to be able to race tomorrow. And looks like we have everyone checking up on him to see if he's okay. That was amazingly crazy, Pete.
So you never want to see anyone crash, but if they can walk away from it and especially be spectacular and then throw a bike toss in there as well, the fans are appreciative to see them walk off the track. So hopefully it looks like Jeffrey's okay and he'll be back racing again tomorrow, hopefully not doing that as well. So Nick Kidman still sits in that hot seat right now as Jeffrey Upshaw walks off the track dejected, or probably happy that things turned out as bad as they could have. Looks like they were okay. So next up it's going to be a guy with so many names, but we're just going to give you two. Carlos Ramirez. This young rider from Colombia has turned a lot of heads. He's a 2012 Junior World Champion. He's been third place overall in the Supercross in the past. He's really looking to step it up, especially in this important year where not only are the Olympics, but the World Champions in his home country in Colombia, so he wants to be impressive. And right now, he's going to get up on that gate and see what he can do in best tonight in the Superfinal time trial here from stop number 2 of the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Tour. Manchester, Great Britain. Carlos Ramirez loaded in the gate for his run here in the Superfinal.
And you know, I think this, when he was a kid, I think he came up to me and he was trying to trade his pesos for my American dollars or something crazy. He is definitely a car, definitely a good guy to be around, fun kid, and very sneaky on the track, very technically advanced, always making moves in the pack. And as of late, he's been showing some good power down the first straight. As you can see, no real mistakes on the track. He's just could be pushing a little bit, probably wishing he was pushing a little bit harder or going a little bit faster than the other guys. But again, I mean, this is very good kid, clean lap, strong lap, not enough for the win, but you do see that 29.258 does put him in the top 3 position.
Yeah, he's known as the little magician, but he couldn't pull it out of the hat this time. Third overall, but still a satisfying lap for him. He looks to be happy. You know, he got through that track, jumping a little bit, over jumping that second straightaway, kind of wheeling up to that jump, to the berm jump. That's definitely got to be scary, and it's going to take you off your game a little bit. Next up, speaking of someone on their game, Alfredo Campo. Definitely had a good run, making that main event in Argentina. Unfortunately, 8th place was the best he could do, but that's pretty darn good when we figure there was almost 160 elite male riders down there competing for those final 8 spots. So Alfredo Campo, a guy, he's pretty serious about his training. He's pretty serious about this BMX lifestyle, and right now he looks to be serious to get a fast time in tonight's Superfinal time trial.
Yeah, also a couple things that's interesting. You notice his equipment. He opts to wear the shorts, and I think that's just because he's so tall. That's not a manufacturer that makes a pair of race pants long enough for him, or it could be weight, or it could just be comfort. What I like about Alfredo is he rises to the occasion, and I've been watching him for the last couple years, and every year he just seems to get better and better. Even in practices, he'll get in the gate right between the fastest guys and get his gate starts, and he's starting to get top 3, getting in those mains. So we'll see what he can do. Looks like, whoa, a little bit of an overjump on that step up, and then a little bit of a case going in that second corner. Again, it is a very special track, and I know the Britons will tell you that, the locals here, there's definitely local lines. So Alfredo Campo's doing his best to just finish off. A couple pedals to the line. Good for 7th, but not good enough for the TT win tonight.
Yeah, and these times are so close. As the time, it's 28.9 is the fastest time, and it's 29.1. Then everybody else is just about in that 29-second range. So you see, any small bobble is going to keep you from being in that top spot. Nick Kidman right now still holds it with just a few more riders to go, but these riders, or any one of these, can uncork or lap and take that overall. So next up from the United States of America will be Nicholas Long, a guy who's gone out and said he doesn't really like the time trial, but when he's consistently as good as he is, he rides it all the time, and you could see a good lap. Nick's definitely having a much better weekend here this year than last year. Last year he was in the motos. He had horrible starts. His bike broke. It was just, everything about it was a nightmare. So right now for him to go out there, get the first race out of the way with a main event finish, 3 Americans in that main event in Argentina, by the way. So Nick Long's going to look to have a good run here in Manchester.
Yeah, and the other thing about Nick is he's just a really good guy, helping Brooke with taking care of her because she's been so sick. We were walking around at dinner last night. He was giving money to homeless people. He's just good like that. And a powerhouse on the track. I mean, always consistent, always in the mains. A little bit unorthodox style compared to a lot of the rest of the guys, but it just doesn't matter. I mean, he gets the job done. He did hang up in that third straight on the rhythm. His bike is still together, Pete, so again, he's having a better weekend than last year. Nice down the last straight. He'll pull in for 9th, 30.045. Won't get it, but I think Nick is all about attitude, and his attitude is I'm ready to race some people.
So yeah, Nick Long coming across the line with the 9th fastest time, but definitely has the #1 style of all the riders that have gone so far. So we'll get ready next. The Canadian Beast, the young gun, Tori Nyhog, number 49. Mr. Snapchat, Pan Am champ. Jason reminded me because Jason's the past Pan Am champ as well. So Jason, Tori, and Connor Fields, short list, but impressive results from each of those riders. So we'll get ready with Tori Nyhog's run here. The youngster from Canada always has time for a Snapchat. Let's see if he can snap the gate and make his way into the hot seat tonight for the Superfinal time trial.
Yeah, well, I think we also have Tori's parents in the stands cheering him on. That's always nice to see. Great family. You know, Tori always has a smile on his face, but when it comes race time, he is ready to do damage. You know, if you talk to his trainer, PH, he says sometimes Tori starts off slow and he actually does better once the pressure's on, but I don't know. I think he got over that last weekend with a time, or last time in Argentina with a time trial win and then getting in that main. So sitting second, he looks like he has a good shot of making up some time and possibly taking himself into the hot seat. We'll see. You know, Britain, England, Commonwealth, he might be doing it for the Queen too. Couple of bobbles at the end, and still 28.8 shows up in the hot seat. What do you say, Pete?
So Tori Nyhog, 2 events in a row so far, has that top spot of the Superfinal time trial. We still have 3 riders to go, but a great run there from Tori, as Jason alluded to, a couple little bobbles at the line, but he came out of that last turn still with just a little bit of time behind. It was 21.959 to Nick Kimmon's 21.957, and he edged him out. Became 28.8 versus 28.9 for that overall time trial. So with 3 riders left, you can see a youngster right here, Ezekiel Torres. He was 4th at the first Supercross, but by the way the crowd reacted and by the way the cameraman did it, you would have thought he won. They were panning on him while we had Corbin Sherrar, you know, actually on the podium. But Ezekiel made that whole country proud. What can he do here tonight? We'll see if he has consistency at just 18 years of age. Again, another one of those super fast riders. We'll see what he can do.
Yeah, he was making amazing moves in Argentina in that last corner. I mean, a low line, hard cars, maintaining his speed. I think what's interesting for people to notice, and even the young racers out there with these time trials, that, you know, as you watch these laps, and especially if you know what you're looking at, you can see some mistakes or bobbles, and sometimes even the announcers, the riders, even surprised that they had such a good time. So it just goes to show you that just because you have a couple mistakes or bobbles out there, doesn't mean that you're not going fast. I mean, it's really about pushing and doing your best all the way around the track, and Ezekiel Torres is a great example of this. I mean, won the world in junior. He came out of that first turn in probably 5th or 6th and found his way to 1st, and here he is, you know, top level elite guy in the time trial. Got a 9th, but that's okay. Again, making his country proud. Another Argentinian putting it down.
So yeah, Ezekiel coming across that line in 9th place. Still pretty good for him, for that youngster to come across. So I'm sure he's going to be excited carrying that over tomorrow. So we have 2 riders left. Amadou Mir. Just a guy that, you know, I'll even admit it. I said he got on the podium a couple times last year. You know, it's not going to happen. And he came back out and just started the season off again, right back on the podium. Finished 3rd overall for the season last year, so it's pretty impressive. 2nd was his best result. He's trying to get to see if he can best that tonight in tonight's Superfinal time trial. Another French rider living up to tradition of smooth riders, and we'll see running for the Sun brand, which is resurrected under Amadou. We'll see what he can do tonight as he's the second to last rider. Can he best the time of Tori Nyhag as he goes through tonight's time trial?
Yeah, I like this guy, Amadou Mir. I think we were talking with a bunch of other riders, and he has just enough crazy to be dangerous and be good at the same time. I mean, he's a wild guy, but serious nonetheless. I mean, he's a pretty complete package, strong, technical, and actually pretty strategic when it comes to racing other people. These time trials are tough because you're on the track by yourself, so you never really know how you're doing, and all you can do is work to have the best lap possible. As you saw, his front wheel was up a lot down that last straight. 29.239, that'll put him in 4th. So I think that's pretty good for Amadou.
All right, so it's going to be a head-to-head between the winner of the last time trial versus the winner of the last main event. So Corbin Shara, he's coming in ranked #1 in the overall series, winner of our first stop. Can he outdo Tori Nyhag's fast time around the track? I'm not sure, but we will see. If anyone can do it, Corbin's one of those riders, when he gets the gate and he gets that confidence, he's one of those riders you can't stop. So we're going to see if that confidence is going to carry over from that win. He's a very nice young guy. He's down to earth, but when he gets on the track, he's a beast. He really makes it. He really looks, usually looks like he's going slow, but it's just because he's so smooth. And he's, now partnered up with Mike Day a little bit. Mike Day's his team manager. So I don't know if any of that's going to run down. But Corbin, if anyone can do it, Corbin will see if he can become a time trial specialist like Mike Day was.
Well, I think Corbin would rather be a main event specialist, but he'll take those time trial wins nonetheless. And yeah, he's another undercover mature guy. I mean, he's young in age, but he has some years of good competition. And the way he rides his bike is really, really pretty. Again, like you said, Pete, it doesn't really look like he's going that fast, but he is blazing on the track. Coming around in 7th out of that second corner. Bit surprised about that, but again, very pretty stylish on the track. I think he's actually laying it pretty conservative, just looking for a clean lap. He had to wait for a long time to go, but good second half, brought him up to second place, 28.8. Looks like Tori with another time trial win.
All right, well, let's get our word over with our 2-time time trial champion, Tori Nyhag from Canada, who is going to be the victor here in Manchester. So incredible run for Tori Nyhag. He's out on track, giving the fans their cheers, waves. So Tori's riding around the track. And he wants to capitalize on his Snapchat beauty. So Tori Nyhag, back-to-back time trial wins. So maybe Tori's a time trial specialist. We'll see. But right now, he's going to be the winner tonight here in Manchester, stop number 2 in the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Tour. So let's get a word here at the finish line from our champion.
I am down here with our time trial champion, Tori Nyhag. Congratulations, meant absolutely the world to you. I could see you were up out of your seat. You must be delighted.
Yeah, it was, the track's extremely technical and it's not easy to have a clean lap at all. So, I made sure I made my pedals count when I needed to and I hit the backsides when I need to. It's not a track you can override and take for granted. It's extremely difficult. So I'm really happy that I had a clean lap.
Clean's the word you said there. You were 11th quickest out of the gate and we thought surely not. But then all of a sudden the magic happened.
Yeah, first straights are tough when you're on your own. There's no one really to push against. So I usually just focus on staying really smooth on the first straight instead of, trying to break my cranks off or something like that. So it's more of a setup for the lap and it set me up really well. And I think these corners are really important as well because you can take off a lot of time going low. And I think that was really important as well.
Well, that second straight, that is as well as we've seen that ridden. Every rider we've had on here, that was fantastic. How did it feel?
It was good. I scared myself with the step up a little bit. I wasn't expecting to go that low, and with a backside that steep, it's extremely tough. So I'm really happy to win today, and it's even more special because my parents are here watching, and they came all the way here from Canada. So I can't wait to give them a hug.
I bet you can't. And they're in the crowd. The crowd were fantastic. A quick word on what it's like to be here in Manchester.
This is always one of my favorite races of the year. Unfortunately, last year I missed it because I broke my ankle really badly, and so it's been 2 years away from here. The atmosphere is always amazing, and I know racing is going to be really special tomorrow, and I can't wait.
Another win for this man. He'll be on the podium very shortly, so do not go anywhere. Your champion, Tori Nyhag.
So Tori Nyhag 2 consecutive time trial victories in a row. On the women's side, it was Elise Post. Definitely a great run for her. So Torres always has a smile on his face, but it's extra big here after his 2nd win in a row, Jason.
I also think it's notable. I mean, Elise went home, took a break, got a little bit of that sunshine, recharged her batteries, came back, with a time trial win. Torrey, he wasn't even at practice yesterday. He had ridden the track. He's like, you know what, I'm going to pull the plug, have some time with my family, take a break, not overthink it, and here those two are taking care of themselves and finding themselves in the winner's circle. TT champs for Manchester.
So immediately after his race here, he's headed over, talking with his trainer, PH, and his trainer is never satisfied because he basically was telling him, you need to do this, you need to do this, and now PH is going out to grab a cigarette.
Well, PH does tend to stress, but he did tell me that sometimes Corey will make him go double-fisted with those cigarettes sometimes, what he puts him through. But I think it's all worth it because Torrey's a very consistent guy, actually. Always finds himself in the main and in top 3 pretty regularly on the circuit. And Elise Post, another consistent front runner to make the U.S. Olympic team. Knock on something. But looking forward to an exciting race tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be a nice way to go to bed tonight.
So speaking of tomorrow, here is the schedule of racing. Your 8th finals for the elite men start at 15:15, and then we move on to those quarterfinals for the elite men, and then we'll move into semifinals for elite men and elite women, and then at 6:10 we'll start those main events. That's when the fans are going to go crazy. We're going to have our live TV broadcast, 1-hour show. We're not showing all the racing because it's a 1-hour TV show. So you can try to follow along on BMS-results, and there's usually live results posted up there. But other than that, we are pretty excited about having the racing for you tomorrow at all. And we were really more excited to have Jason Richardson come in, Dr. Jason Richardson come in and give us his experience, his knowledge, and talk about the mindset of these drivers. Jason, thanks so much for joining us. Can we get a final word from you before we wait for this podium presentation? Oh, wait, sorry. Podium presentation. So, there's Elise Post. Looks like she has scoliosis, but from the championship, she's so hot. Look at the steam coming off her. Or that might be the heater behind her. Still steaming after that super fast blazing lap around the Manchester Supercross track. But Elise Post, your winner for the evening in the elite women's class.
I think you asked me a question, Pete, but I don't remember. But anyways, thanks for having me. It was definitely fun. Love talking BMX with Pete and apparently the BMX world. So anytime I can lend a voice to this sport, I will do so. Thanks a lot.
All right, Jason, thanks. So that will be it for the evening. So thank you so much for joining us on the Manchester Supercross round number 2 of the UCI BMX World Cup Tour. We will see you tomorrow with the live broadcast. Thanks so much. I'm Pete Deluski from Jason Richardson. Thank you for joining us here on BMX Live TV.
Riders ready, watch the gate.